And EJ, from the editorial and journalism perspective, there are always people reaching out to you. You're kind of the outlet through which people get visibility in some sense. And what are your thoughts about your value? What can you bring as far as visibility? And what does that mean for someone to get that visibility?
Well, I think the value and visibility depends on what your ultimate goal is for having a blog in the first place. Some people start their blogs because they want to be a model. Some people start their blogs because they want to be an editor or a stylist. And you see some bloggers' careers really taking off in various different directions. So I think it really varies. And I think the beautiful thing about blogging is that it opens doors in so many different directions. So how do you become visible? Like the panel just said, there's lots of really basic ways you can become visible too, like just linking to other blogs, commenting on other blogs, and using your social media tools like Twitter. Teen Vogue got into the Twitter game a few years ago, and I think probably later in the game than most of you in this room. And every Friday I would check and say, what is this FF thing going on? And then all of a sudden I'd be getting these follow Fridays from these bloggers, and like, oh, who is that? You click on their Twitter profile, and you go onto their blog, and then we'd have this wealth of girls and boys, really stylish girls and boys that we could use for quotes and stories, or we feature Q&As on teenvogue.com and in the magazine as well. So you really, there are a lot of tools at your disposal, and Teen Vogue does that too. You'd think that a site that gets millions and millions of hits would have some great system in place in terms of getting their own visibility, but we really do like guerrilla style marketing. We have this long list of bloggers that we send links to. I bug you on a regular basis, I'm sure, more than you prefer, whenever we have stories that we want to get out there too. So we try and get as visible as you guys do too. And in terms of what that value is, it can really go in so many different directions.
And Robin, as being part of Kmart, people sort of look at your brand and like, you're established. What could joining the social media sphere and being part of the conversation really get you? So I'm curious to know your thoughts as well.
So the challenge with the Kmart brand is we have huge perception hurdles to overcome. The brand has been around for over 100 years, and there's a certain perception in the customer's mind that Kmart doesn't have fashion. And really, we have come such a long way. The quality and design of our product, it's actually fabulous for the price points we're able to deliver. So for us, we feel social media is really the way to get the word out that, we do have fabulous fashion at Kmart, and the prices are great, and the product doesn't fall apart. So social media, in our mind, really, if you think about marketing 101, the number one key indicator of brand loyalty is, would you refer to a friend? So if you think about social media, that's really what it is, right? It's word of mouth, refer to a friend marketing that you could pay millions and millions of dollars, and it's not as effective as having your friend recommend a particular brand or product. So for us, it is mission critical. Now I'll tell you, we are just sticking our toe in the water with StyleSip, but it's a huge, huge focus, not just for Kmart, but for Sears Holdings as a whole. Critically important. It's the future. And blogging's not going away. That was a question on the last panel. It's very
And speaking of not going away, I think the question about visibility, it's once you get that visibility, how do you remain relevant? And EJ, I know you work with a lot of bloggers, but also brands and some other social media sites. And to you, what is their secret, sort of the common thread that ties them together to being relevant, staying relevant?
I think the key for certain bloggers to stay relevant really is staying true to who you are and what your blog is. Some bloggers, if their blog is all about personal style, and then all of a sudden they start talking about music, it's like, what? Not really. So I think staying true to your blog's mission really helps you stay unique and relevant in the blogosphere for sure.
And I'm wondering as well, you mentioned you're a street style blogger. So let's say you get that street style audience.
Right.
What do you do to grow your audience? How do you keep them engaged?
I mean, once you have that street style blog, it doesn't end there. Then with social media, you tweet about it, then you post a link on Facebook, then you send it to other bloggers. It doesn't end once you hit publish on your post. Unfortunately, it's not that easy to get that visibility. And to answer that last question from the previous panel, blog and to your point, blogging isn't going anywhere because in keeping with the theme of this panel, if with visibility, blogging isn't going anywhere because once you decide to stop blogging, then someone else is just waiting in the wings to gain that visibility from you and be that next kind of it blogger, if you will.
And Liz, you've been blogging for over a year now. And I'm wondering what your strategy is to staying relevant and growing your audience and keeping them engaged.
So I think for me, I've identified two kind of factors at work, and the number one for me is accessibility. People read blogs because you're a real person, and you become almost like their friend. They think they know you, and they do because you share a lot of your personal tidbits and even just your personal style. It's very personal. They look up to you, and then they think of you as a friend, and they trust you. It's like that what parents said about word of mouth, and so you have to maintain that accessibility. You have to tweet at them and respond to their emails and just, again, make a personal connection with them and show them that you care and that you appreciate that they read your blog. I mean, the fact that people read my blog is amazing, and I adore every single one of my readers. And I hope that comes through, and I think it's important for you, if you're a blogger, for your readers to know that you appreciate them and to make, again, that personal connection. The other factor, I think, is branding. And whether we like to admit it or not, your blog is your brand. You are your brand. And you have to become a multi-dimensional brand. The other panel touched on the fact that celebrities have a lot of clout. Well, as a blogger, if you want to get your impressions up, you can't just blog. Unfortunately, I don't think that's enough. Whether you want to start a store, or maybe you become, start designing, or a model, or you start writing for a publication, I think you just have to really diversify your brand and really enter as many different markets that are within your brand to really develop yourself and get noticed and continue engaging your readers and coming up with new content.
Yeah, I think you also the key is not waiting for people to come to you too, you really have to take that initiative to approach brands or editors or stylists and say, hey, I have a blog, here's what I'm about, I'd love to contribute in any way, shape, or form, whether that means volunteering and checking in at the Chictopia 10 conference, or helping assist styling an issue for free. We at Teen Vogue have guest bloggers all the time contribute to the site, covering Fashion Week, or just doing Q&As with bloggers on a regular basis. So there's a certain element of us scouring the internet, finding bloggers, but there's also an element of, hey, do you want to appear on teenvogue.com? Just send us a link to your blog. It really is that easy sometimes.